Well, welcome to UK GK TV. I'm Bill Voice, and this...
I'm Dave Nicholson.
So, got a bit of a mixed bag today, haven't we, really?
We have, mate, today.
We got a little bit by Kurt and Steve later on.
It has, with the Hawaiian shirts.
With the Hawaiian shirts, just to rub it in, that the weather here is so disgraceful.
It's good to have Bill back.
Yeah, I was at Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Dark concert last week in Manchester. I loved it. They were great. They're lesson to us all, Dave. They're lesson to us all because they're older than us, but they are still rocking.
I feel old today.
I felt old watching them, and I felt old the night after because I'd lived at large in Manchester for one night.
Yeah,
it took me two days to get over it.
Living it large
in Manchester. Yeah, you'd be surprised actually, and it was a great night. The people at the hotel were great. It's a travel lodge, and the place next door was a beef eater, and that was a fantastic breakfast. So
a few drinks and out to
boogie.
Did you get down and boogie?
I didn't. I stood up. I had to stand
up. Stood up and boogie.
I stood up like that because I like to sit down, mate. I like to sit down. Pay for a ticket. Pay for the seat.
Give it a bit the old.
My wife was dancing, and the people in front got up and started to dancing. And as I was taller than them, I had to stand up to see the band.
Right.
So I did sway from side to side. I mean, like
this.
Dad swaying. Dad dancing. A bit of this. But you know what?
It's great. It's great to see him standing the test of time.
And it's put.
What was it? 80s, mid 80s.
Oh, early to mid 80s. Saw them first of all in Birkenhead in the really early 80s. Very, very, very great. Yeah, they're a great band. Lyrics are darker than you'd expect. Their music is very poppy, but the lyrics are quite dark and quite, they're quite serious, quite political. Yeah.
And am I correct in saying that they're basically touring in the States?
They're touring in the States soon, yeah.
Which is great considering the 80s band.
Yeah, and they had a lot of John Hughes, the director that did a lot of movies back then, Brat Pack movies. He used a lot of British pop music in things like Ferris Bueller's Day Off and stuff like that, and The Breakfast Club, and they had a couple of big hits in the States because of the John Hughes movies.
Oh, that's good then. Yeah. That's good. Well, what I've been up to, I've got my puppy T-shirt on today, my puppy jumper. We've just got ourselves a new head of security. Bill's met him. We'll introduce him another day. He's a little sweetheart.
He's lovely. He's a living teddy bear, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
He's a living teddy bear.
So if I fall asleep during this, it's not because Bill's boring. I'm tired.
It's like having kids again.
It's like having kids. I'm too old for this. But he's an absolutely fantastic little creature. So what have we got today, Bill?
Well, we're going to talk about Facebook, aren't we? The good, the bad, and the ugly. Really?
Yes, the effect of social media on model kits and stuff.
So for me, the beauty of social media was I thought I was the only person that made dinosaur model kits, and I thought I was the only person that remembered Aurora prehistoric scenes.
Yeah.
So I went on the internet, did a bit of a search, found the website, which had a notice board, and that notice board morphed into a Facebook page.
Like a Facebook group type thing,
yeah. And to be honest with you, being such a specialist producer of these like really kind of vague kits, my market is through Facebook because I've got 20 or 30 people that buy my stuff on a regular basis, and it's always the same people, and I chat to them on the board, so it's like a friendship thing, And
so what's this page, by the way?
It's just called Aurora Prehistoric Scenes.
Right, okay.
This is the one I'm on most of the time, but I'm also on all sorts of stuff, like I'm on your website, UKGK. I do a thing called Abstract Collage.
What?
Abstract Collage, it's an art thing, mate, but...
Okay.
The abstract collage thing is the thing that perhaps makes me want to talk about the thing that they're going to talk about is people not following the rules.
Right, okay.
Because on the abstract collage group, people post paintings. Now, it's not abstract paintings, mate. It's abstract collage. Oh. So unless it's a collage, take it somewhere else. And I often find me emailing admin, reporting something to admin, saying, this is not a collage.
You do that?
I do that. Yeah, I don't know, I feel obliged that I'm thinking,
that's
not a collage, mate. It's the painting. That's a relief. That's a construction. Move it on.
I think basically, that's the sort of thing that you encounter.
Yeah, and I'm sure it happens on UKGK, doesn't it? I'm sure it does.
Yes, it's not so bad now. I mean, obviously, there's waves that it comes in. We'll get a wave, and we kind of know it's coming because you kind of get a feel for the people that are. What should we call it? Trying to be polite. The people you kind of get a feel for when trouble's coming.
I think there's an old-fashioned word. I think it's obstropholous.
Well, I couldn't even say that.
I don't know, obstropholous.
I can't
people
say
who
that.
are obstropholous about the slightest thing.
Yeah.
You get people who were very eager to be negative about people and stuff. my point about the boards, the beauty of the boards is people post their work.
Yeah.
Now, you either look at that work because you want to sort of think, I wish mine was that good, and you want to hints and tips and get some idea of how they've done it. And then looking at other people's work is always a joy because they've put time into that.
Yeah.
And you get people who actually are very negative about people's work, and even if the work's not particularly good, I get a feeling, maybe as an educator, but I always feel that you should be very positive, you should encourage, and any criticism should be constructive and helpful. It shouldn't be any grandstanding or anything, Mike can do better than this. It should be supportive and helpful.
I totally agree with you. I mean, on UKGK, we've got over 1,000 members, and we've had our issues with different things which we're not going to go into fine details of, but we have a strict set of rules, and some people complain about the strict set of rules. They're not ridiculous. It's just it's a basic set of rules that we have in place. But one of the most common things that you find is, I find it, because it's quite an isolated hobby, by when you have to tell somebody that they can't do that, that's when you have a problem, because it's quite isolated and they kind of don't like being told.
Well, you kind of get a little bit of a domino effect as well, because everybody knows each other.
Yeah.
If you get a sort of the hump with the admin,
that's another good one.
People feel obliged. I've got the hump with them, and to tell all their mates that they've got the hump.
And then you get the pitchforks out.
And then you get like the villagers, don't you? With the torches,
Frankenstein's monster.
You've got the castle burning in the background. And as I said earlier, that the beautiful thing about Facebook is the multiplicity of it. If you don't like the rules of a page, there's nothing to stop you leaving the page and go and start up your own page. Or just start your own page up for just a little bit of a diversion. Because you might want to do something different to what's on your on the main page just because you want to do it. You might not have fallen out with anybody. You just might be interested in that.
Definitely.
It's like I started a pyro model page, which is the old Pyro Limburg kits. I started a little Pyro Limburg page because I wanted to post pictures of my Limburg kits, but it wasn't appropriate on the Aurora page because they're not Aurora kits, if you see what I mean. So it made sense to start up another page. Now, nobody was stopping me posting my Limburg kits, but I suppose I'm kind of self-governing in a way, and I'm thinking, well, maybe this should just be on another page, and I did that myself, but I wouldn't have been offended if somebody had said, Bill, that's not Aurora, take it somewhere else, because they would have done it politely, and I would have said, yeah, fine, okay, it's fine.
I mean, I think we've had some ridiculous sort of rule breaks that we've had. Some of them have been absolutely ridiculous, but the main one is I don't tell people, I try and advise people that we don't, and explain to them, is when you block the admins. When you block the admins on a page, I've got to get this clear, because basically there's a misconception of this, that it's not a personal thing. If you block the admins, we can't then see what's going on. So it's a no-no.
Yeah, I think
so.
For me personally, I think you if somebody blocks the admin and still wants to be on the page, they should just be banned from the page.
Yes.
Because they're basically saying to you, we want to use your page
to promote their stuff,
which is fine, but we don't want to abide by the rules, and we're not going to respond to the people who run the page. If you don't want it, go somewhere else. I mean,
that's it. I mean, there's several sites in the States, etc., and all that I'm not a member of, and I've left that page because I don't agree with certain aspects, but I'm still friends with the guys that run.
Of course.
And it's about being grown up in it. You've got to be grown up about it. I mean, they're only model kits, guys. You know what I mean? They're only model kits. We have to follow a certain set of rules. There has to be rules in place. Otherwise, it's anarchy. It's just crazy.
Well, yeah, because I often get drawn into posts or get posts from people who share the pages that I'm on. And obviously a lot of the guys out there, shout out to the guys that are very good customers and great guys over in America. Politics is different over in America.
Yeah.
And the actual party politics is different. And I know that I'd probably be totally disagreeing with them.
Yes.
On their politics, but I'm still their mate, because whatever they do on another page, I'll leave it. I just think, well, it's nothing to do with me. They can have their opinions. I'm happy with their opinions. I'm just not going to comment because, number one, I don't want to fall out with them because they're good guys.
It's not worth it, is it?
It's not worth it.
No.
It's all going to be over in a couple of weeks. And, so I think that in the sense that what you've got to do is you've got to take the hobby for what it is, and as you say, it's only kits. I mean, kits are a great big part of our life, and they've influenced us, and they're important to people because it's their hobby and their key. They're like their anchor in society.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's not life and death.
It isn't.
And if you disagree with somebody,
you disagree.
You just disagree. Just walk away from it.
That's the idea. Nobody's died. Nobody's died. People have different opinion. Football, snooker, boxing. Everybody's got different opinions. If we're running different things different ways, then we're different. You know, there is millions of boards out there, and I'm happy to still be friends with loads of people that basically, don't like certain ways. But the positive side of it is, the positive side of the boards is, you can actually get your stuff out to more people. I think.
If you're a really small producer, say you've made your first ever kit, and you've got a sculpt or a bust or something, you can stick it on social media, and with boards like yours and boards like the ones I belong to, you're actually encouraged to post what you've produced. So if you've produced something to do with the hobby, because I do sort of basically what if kits for Aurora Prehistoric Scenes, I know that the people on that board would want to buy it, they would like to see it, so I post and it's relevant to it. But I do other bits and bobs, some horror kits and stuff, but I would never post it on the scenes. I would only post Aurora's based stuff. And like I was saying to Dave earlier on, it's basically revolutionised my life in the sense that, number one, I can talk to other people in the hobby over great distances. There's the whole American style thing, American culture there, which we can dip our toes into, which we otherwise wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
So I'd say 85-90% of social media, particularly Facebook, is positive.
Yes.
It's a tool, isn't it? Worth it. It's a tool, isn't it? It's worth dealing with the silliness occasionally.
You do get it, mate.
And you do get it. But it's worth dealing with it for the positive aspect of it.
Yeah, you do get it, and I think basically the pluses outweigh the negatives.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Ask me that on a 9 o'clock on a Saturday night when I'm getting grief.
Yeah,
it's not worth it then, but it is worth it. I mean, we've got like UKGK and Killer Kits, and we just run them pages. Killer Kits is just for Killer Kits. It's it's just what it is. That's
the advertising arm for this, isn't it?
Yeah, basically. It's just Killer Kits.
Yeah, just Killer Kits.
And then UKGK is predominantly UK.
But anybody can post a
definitely,
product. If it's a decent product and you own it, you can post it on Killer Kit. UKGK.
Yeah, we encourage people to post. We try and encourage people. We make it a bit more community. Like this now, the videos we're doing now, it's reaching out to more people, and every day we're there, and it's to regard the show and everything. So it is positive, but we just, as in all walks of life.
I mean, there's a lot of kits that I really, really like. I like the Gavurite spear. What's it called by? It's the Men in the Moon, first Men in the Moon.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
That beautiful kit that I saw there. I wouldn't know that kit existed if I had not seen it on the boards.
Brilliant.
And you do get a lot of people on there that you meet in. When you do the show every year, you meet the people on the show and you put a name to their face and you think, oh, this is the person I've been talking to for ages, and that gives you such a great sense of community. You've
got. I mean, guys, what we've got to bear in mind. I mean, the overriding point I want to put across today, and I've always tried to put across is, guys, I enjoy this. I enjoy people receiving my kits more than the money, because God, we don't get that much.
Ways, isn't there?
Yeah, we don't get that much money, trust me.
Ways.
But I enjoy it, and it's nice chatting to people. It's nice, like Bill says. Bill, when he went to Telford, he was like, he's like over the moon, weren't you? Yeah. And meeting the people at UKGK is what it's all about, because you're not going to get rich quick, guys. So I believe that just the model kits, guys. Let's all get on. Let's all get on and enjoy yourselves. Do you think it's better than the early days now? Because we're going to go into the early days in a minute.
I think it's better in the early days for the customer in particular, because you can
better than the model mark days and the AFM.
I have to say, I look back on the days of that kind of thing with fondness, but I also remember feeling quite isolated as well.
Yes, you're not alone, are you?
No, I'm not alone anymore.
No, you're not alone.
I remember buying a copy of House of Hammer magazine, which later became House of Horror.
Yeah.
And it had a great big picture of Racco Welsh being chased by a dinosaur on it.
Brilliant.
Wonderful. But you know what? I felt so guilty about buying that magazine full of dinosaurs. I snuck out of the paper shop with it under my coat. Nowadays, I can buy a dinosaur kit and talk to people about it,
which is
great.
And surprisingly,
I no longer feel like like I'm doing something illegal.
No, and surprisingly, Bill, these people are building them and listening to us talking about
it. Exactly. So the thing is with Facebook in particular, or any social media.
Are you on Twitter?
I used to be on Twitter as part.
Oh, is it X or whatever it is?
Whatever it is.
TikTok.
Now.
You're doing the TikTok dance.
Someone
suggested we get a TikTok video. No,
mate. I tell you what, you see my TikTok dance. You should have been at the Apollo Theatre on Saturday last week watching me dance.
Yeah, I think you only get about 5, 10 to 15 seconds. I'm not sure.
Which is enough.
Yeah, but we'd be thinking about it, and the video will be over.
That'd be it. Because we'd be talking about something else.
We'd be just going, right, we ready to go, and that's it. It's done. So we'd be rubbish on TikTok.
But at the end of the day, I think that, especially if we want the hobby to continue, particularly with younger people,
yes,
I think once again it's like the 3D printing. You have to embrace the new technology
definitely
to appeal to younger kids. And I think a lot of younger people we see at the conventions wouldn't be there if it wasn't for social media.
Do you know the best advice for social media and these groups is what I find, and this is by my lovely partner Rachel. Before you post, think about what you're posting. Never put anything up in haste, because you can guarantee if you still feel that way in an hour's time, fair enough. But if you don't,
I think I've got.
That's women, though. They're clever.
No, they are. Because
they are clever.
You see, my little rule was never write it, never send it in a letter. If you got something to say, don't send it in a letter, because when you write it down. Yeah, when you write it down, it's intractable because it's good. It's evidence. Whatever you've written, is what you've written.
Talk to people,
and it's very hard to back away from what you've written because you've written something. You might not even said it right.
Talk to them.
Talk to them.
Talk to the people. 9 times out of 10, it's a misunderstanding.
Don't put it in a letter. Don't put it in a post.
No. Don't put it in a post. Don't put. Just talk to the person.
Or talk to a third party, like the admin.
Yes.
That's a good idea. I've noticed this. Would you like to?
Yes,
and then you'll be the mediator.
9 times out of 10, it's me that ends up sorting it out.
Yeah, exactly.
There's one other question before we go on to the next subject. Is it a PM or a DM on Facebook?
DM's direct message.
I thought it was private message.
PM's a private message. DM is a direct message. A DM is a direct message.
Same thing.
I believe so. It's like
answers in the comments below, guys.
Because
I've got
comments below. There's Messenger.
Yeah.
What's the other one? There's a couple in there. There's Messenger. We use Messenger, don't we?
We use Messenger, but I thought they were PMs, private messages.
PMs and DMs.
So what's a DM then?
Direct message. I don't know. Is that one that's open to everybody to comment on?
Let us know, guys, in the comments. Let us go in the comments below.
Young people who know all this, get in touch. And tell us.
Let us know what it is, guys. I'm sure there's some youngsters out there.
Well, I just if you want this kit, PM me.
Yeah, that's me, PM. I'm seeing a lot of DMs, and I'm thinking, are they Doc Martins? Dr. Martins DMs.
Dr. Martins.
Just DM me, give us a good kicking. Yeah. Anyway, next subject, Bill.
Next subject. Well, there's two things, isn't there? We were talking earlier on about. You're saying the old days, the good old days.
The legends of bygone years.
There's legends of bygone years, isn't there? And there's people that spring to mind, like Mike Hill.
Yeah.
Alan Anson.
Yeah, Neil Sims.
Lee Ames.
Yeah, these
are people who...
These are guys that were doing it in the modern, but aren't doing it now.
They're not doing it now? These people don't do it now?
Yeah,
Mike Hill.
When was he last? I've fortunately I've had the privilege of working with all these guys. Yeah. Mike he's a forerunner, wasn't he, Mike? I mean, you've seen a lot of Mike's work. He did the Christopher Lee Dracula.
His Hammer stuff's brilliant.
Oh, he's fantastic. I mean, he was doing it. Mike was sculpting and promoting the UK. Before he was even there, you know what I mean? Mike was. Mike's just a talented guy.
Big traditional subjects as well.
Yes,
the stuff he does is like eternal.
Yes, Mike.
I mean, if you got a kit by him now, and you got one in 10 years, it still sells.
And you know what? The quality,
iconic, isn't it?
Yeah, the quality of Mike's stuff is it still stands up to today.
I'd say, you often hear words people saying it's movie quality. Well, it's movie quality.
Well, he
isn't
does.
it?
He works in movies now.
Movies,
So
yeah,
kudos
so
to Mike, because he's over there in the States. He's probably one of... the thing with Mike is as well, Mike used to have an eye for good concept and an eye for something that looked good. He didn't just sculpt it. He had a concept.
It's a product idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference between you get a lot of good sculpts, which are very good sculpts, but they're not particularly inspiring concepts.
Yeah.
We were looking at that Harryhausen thing the other week, and it's a great sculpt, but it's a great concept.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes you get a nice bust and you think, well, that's okay, I painted it now, what do we do with it?
That's it.
It kind of takes some stuff, as good as it is, kind of does take a kind of a sort of a back row on your shelf, doesn't it? Whereas a lot of kits,
his concepts were good.
Concepts were great,
good.
Yeah.
And Mike started originally with Fifth Sense, and I think his first one was either the Dutch or the Fistful of Resin, and of course that was that's what inspired everybody else to get going. And he just worked and then he obviously went out to do giftware, and he worked for some of the big companies in the States, and now he's working on movies, which fair play to the guy, he's done that. If anybody can do that. I remember when I was first starting as Killer Kits, obviously we're chatting about people that aren't doing it, so your Joe Baileys, your Paul Fays and all them lot, they're still doing it. They're still doing it. That's another episode. But we had when we first started, we had competition from the likes of Neil Sims, Jonathan Drewer, all them sort of people. They were the competition. Obviously Mike as well, and Neil Sims. He used to work for a company called N&T, Neil and Trevor, and they started off doing like all the Batman stuff, and he was absolutely fantastic. I mean, his artwork, his actual drawing, pencil drawing, was like a photograph.
Yeah,
it was so good, Bill. Honestly.
Well, if you look at the thing is, you see, these were multi-talented artists, because at the time when they started out back in the day, before AI and before 3D printing and before that, if you were an artist or a designer, you had to be pretty much good across a whole range of things. Yeah. So it was the ability to draw, it was composition, it was modelling, it was all of those things. It was this notion of the whole concept. Yeah. So I suppose in the sense that because it was more difficult then to do all of these things, you had to have a lot more knowledge and a lot more experience, and I think that shows in the sculpts, doesn't it? And it shows in the kits. Neil's.
Neil gave me a pen drawing of Batman Begins, I think it was. It's just like a photograph. It's so good. I mean, he also does like. Well, now he's gone from. I don't think he does the kits anymore, which is a shame. But he does tattoos now, and the photo perfect. And then we had a guy called Jonathan Drewer, which I never met because he was from down South London way. And every time we fetched a kit out, the month after, Jonathan would do it. JD, remember the JD stuff? He was like Gladiator. He was the Crow. I mean, could have killed him because I wanted to do a Crow.
Crow was very popular,
so he wanted to do a Crow, and he did a Crow.
It's been remade, isn't it?
Sorry?
It's been remade.
Oh, have you seen the picture?
I don't
It's
look, mate. No,
it's horrendous, the picture. The picture of him
these
is
are sacred icons to me, these things.
Oh,
these are
mate, have you not seen the picture of him?
No.
He looks like a... No, it's not good.
You're not going to say
it's not good. No, I can't say for the camera.
On a polite family programme.
Yes, I can't say it. It's horrendous. It's the same guy that played Pennywise, isn't it? The new Pennywise.
Oh right.
He looks just like. I tell you, who he looks like. He looks, being polite, he looks like the Joker, Jared Leto Joker.
Yeah.
But with short, dark hair. It's terrible. Everyone that's seen it, nobody likes it. So he was basically JD, Jonathan Drewer. He was like an arch nemesis, and N&T were.
So it was like one step ahead, one step behind, one step ahead. Yeah.
And then I never met the guy, and then he did a UK GK show, and you kind of think, oh, this is and you know what? He's such a lovely fella. He's nothing like I imagined.
Well, when you think about it, though, it's great minds think alike, isn't it?
Great guy.
It's great minds
Jonathan
think alike.
Drew is a great guy.
If there's good stuff coming out in the entertainment business, then there's going to be good kits, isn't there?
Yeah, Jonathan Drew was a great guy. I mean, I'm currently trying to chat with him to get him to allow me to reproduce some of the old classics, which would be fantastic for the guys that are just coming back into it. Because Jonathan, he's not doing this now. He's doing high end kits like like Greek mythology and stuff like that. And they're superb. I'll show you some pictures when we go offline.
So it's kind of he's taking it up into a different level. So
Like
these
art.
it's
Somewhat
more
like
like they're more like art sculptures
Yes.
with like a kind of popular tint.
Yes, like
Tinge
Medusa.
And stuff, but
like
like more
Pegasus and-
Greco-Roman
Yes,
style
yes,
stuff.
yes.
Right, okay.
It's
well,
really good.
I can sort of see that because they become kind of highly collectable.
Big stuff. And
Big
it's-
stuff.
it's
Polystone, is it? Is
Yeah,
it
big stuff.
Polystone
Yeah. He's doing that now, and
Right.
but his stuff, his JD stuff, Jonathan, his stuff originally was great. I mean, but he's so quick.
Yeah,
he did.
yeah.
You know, he was. You can imagine if the mask came out, he'd had a mask kit. If Crow came out, he'd have a Crow kit, and it was like, oh god.
Yeah.
And he did, you know, stuff like that, and we were like, flipping heck, what does this guy ever go to sleep? But when I met him, I kind of felt a bit guilty because he was a really nice guy.
Right.
He was super duper, and then he was the likes of Lee Ames. Now Lee, oh mate, Lee's like a human puppy dog. He's
Right.
such a nice fella.
Yeah.
The reason I got in touch with Lee is because Lee did a Predator, Samurai Predator.
Yes, I remember that.
Remember,
yeah.
and I wanted to do that
Really
kit,
good, yeah.
and he chucked it away.
You didn't finish it.
No, he chucked it away. So basically, I said, Lee, you've got to do stuff.
Because I remember seeing photographs of that coming around. and
Yeah.
I'm thinking, this is
It was
genius.
lovely, mate. It was a beautiful piece. And I said to him, Lee, you know. Anyway, eventually, I don't know what happened. I think he had some stuff going on at home, like we all do.
Yeah.
And then he just basically, all of a sudden, out of the blue, he said, I've done these 2 kits. Do you want them? I was like, yeah. And we went to meet him, and he's such a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's done one of my favourite kits that I always wanted to own, which I do, which is the Leon kit. And it was one of my faves at the time because it was a character that nobody ever did. So
Right.
Lee did your Leons and your Alien, your Star Beast, and the Interview with the Vampire style vampire, and he also did a lot for Gary at Creatures Unlimited. So Lee was a good guy, and then there was a guy that I got to know, which was Ken Jones. Spoke to him last week. Ken's lovely. He's a really nice guy. He was doing Deadpool sculptures before it was fashionable.
Before it's fashionable, yeah.
Now I've bullied him to come and talk to us.
Yeah, because he was quite a complex character even before the movies, wasn't he?
Deadpool.
So, yeah, Deadpool. It was kind of one of the Marvel kind of new wave things that came out.
He's like an anti-hero.
Yeah, he's an anti-hero, isn't he?
Now, Ken was doing these before it was fashionable and popular. He did the little deforms, he did the big heads, he did the figures. Way before his time, Ken. Now I've asked Ken. Ken spoke to me the other day, and I've he's a very modest gentleman. He sounds a bit like Peaky Blinders. I'll get him to fetch his hat on when he comes as well. I've told him there's no swearing, but he doesn't swear. I'm only joking. But he wants to come in and do a bit about
really
stuff.
Good,
so but which fetches on to the last person, which is kind of a bit of a cheat really, because it's Alan Ianson. Now I met Alan a long time ago at Cheshunt, and I'm pretty sure his company was the House That Dripped. I'm going to stab you with that.
Why are you saying that? He's got a scalpel in his hand. He's got a scalpel in his hand.
Alan's company was the House That Dripped Resin.
Oh, the House of Drip Resin. Yeah, because there's a film, House of Drip Blood, isn't
It
there?
was a House That Dripped Resin, and he did a fantastic Evil Ed.
Right.
And he did the series of Terminator busts, which I had to have, and I mithered him to death. I absolutely drove the guy up the wall about this house, about these Terminators, and in the end he gave in, and he sold them to me. And I'm currently in the process of trying to get the Evil Ed off him, because obviously the horror stuff. But again, Alan's a really smashing fella, and he's basically coming in to see us in the next few months to chat to
you. Can get to chat to me. So
basically, you'll get to meet 2 of these guys that are on the list. I'd love to get the others. I'd love to get the others if we can, but I know that.
I think it'd be really good as well to talk to people who were at the beginning of the hobby.
Yeah.
Because number one, they're inspirational. Because they started from nothing.
Yeah.
The hobby, they made the hobby, really, didn't they? At the end of the day, they made the hobby.
Yeah.
And what I like to think is that young people out there are watching us 2 old geezers chat and talk about these people. But, it'd be great in a few years' time to see young people who are like 15 and 16 now starting to come out with their own stuff, from their own culture, sort of from their own films and stuff that they see. And these are the kids that
like Darren Kent, though, isn't it? Darren's a young lad, and Darren's coming into his own now. Wait till you see the latest thing Darren's done. It's superb. He's the next generation. I mean, now this chat we're having today is about legends gone by.
Right. Yeah.
We're not talking about your
people
Paul
still working.
Fays.
Yeah.
We're not talking about your Joe
Yeah.
Baileys and people that are actually still active.
Yeah.
There's one I forgot to mention, which I don't know why, because he was a bane of my life. There's a gentleman called Neil Harvey. That guy is...
Oh, Neil, yeah, I remember this kid.
Neil was
right.
Batman orientated.
Yeah, he was Batman as
me and
well,
Neil
yeah.
got in contact with each
He
other.
did a Christopher Lee, didn't he? He did a Dracula, didn't he?
No, that was Mike Hill.
Mike Hill.
Mike Hill.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
basically, Neil was into his Batman stuff, and I've got to be honest, as a guy, a bloke's a lunatic. He's a fantastic bloke.
You said it with love.
Neil's all the time, and I still speak to Neil all the time, and he's now making big masks, rubbergorilla.com,
Rubber Gorilla.
and he makes cheesy B movie films.
Right,
He's
so he's
done it.
actually making the movies now.
He makes like shorts to promote his. I mean, the best one I've seen in Neil's is where there's like a slasher mask he does,
Right, okay.
and there's this young hiker. There's a hiker, and he's walking with his boots on, and next minute he hears a branch
Crack.
and
yeah.
he turns around and then Neil's there in his slasher
So
mask.
these are like good top grade.
Oh
masks,
yeah, brilliant.
Full head.
Yeah,
masks.
but this film's great
Right,
because he
okay.
turns around, sees sort of the slasher coming towards him with it, and he's
Yeah.
walking, and the guy's running, and he's not getting anywhere.
Yeah,
and, then,
and he's running and he's walking and he's
yeah,
getting
and he's
closer,
still
closer.
So he's kind of walking through the trees, and this guy runs and he falls. Oh, sorry, he hides behind a tree, and then
Right.
when Neil, the slasher, looks, there's these little narrow trees, so he couldn't possibly.
see.
So he's doing this like, I'll show you if I get a chance.
Right, I'll get. Yeah.
And then he falls over, and when he's falling on the floor, he falls down. This slasher stood above him like that, and he starts talking, and he's talking like Bill Shatner. He's describing the mask and what it's made out of, like Shatner, and he goes,
Yeah.
"That looks kind of real," and then he just chops his head.
So this is cool. What's this called?
This guy called Rubber Gorilla, Neil.
Rubber Gorilla. This sounds
Neil Harvey.
fascinating.
His masks are fantastic.
I've
Honestly.
always kind of fancied having a go at that. You know, doing a rotational mould of a rubber mask.
He's a lunatic,
I'll
honestly.
look at it.
I mean, when he's brilliant at promotion, because when you see him, he's kind of like a gimp. Well, he's not a gimpy like looking bloke, but he kind of portrays it. He always
inhabits the
he always turns up with a brown. Well, you'll meet him. You're going to Toracon. I'll introduce you.
Yeah.
So he has like a brown dungarees on, and they're covered in red paint, which looks like blood.
Again.
And he's got like a little hat on,
Yeah.
and he's got all red paint. It looks like it's blood.
Yeah.
And he walks around with axes and things like that. And then when he's making the masks, he's doing all these silly noises, but he's got a mask on, and he's making one. And he's going, and he starts pulling air from up his nose and sticking it on the mask. It's not really, but that's it's disgusting.
Like.
Yeah. So Neil's a good guy.
Good,
So
good.
hopefully you'll meet that gentleman. He's a nice. He's coming up to the Horicon.
Yeah.
That'll be good. That one.
I'm really looking forward to it. To be honest with you.
That's the 12th. That's the 12th of. We should do a show one, shouldn't we? We'll do show reviews in the next week or two. Now we've had quite a few people asking us about doing a Universal one, which we are talking about.
Yeah, I think we've got to do a Universal, really, haven't we? Because there's plenty of good Lugosi busts and stuff out there.
Everybody wants us to do Universal one. They want us to do the 70s. We'll try and get Joe Bailey in. I'm going to have to put that down. I don't know why.
Scalpel down and walk away.
I don't walk away from the scalpel. It's puppy brain. I'm sorry, guys. I've got puppy brain. I'm all over the place today. But yeah, so what we'll do is we'll do a 70s one because I think Mike's got all the information, and then we'll do like a show review because you're going to come up to the show, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, so
that's one of the shows. But we'll just to clear up on the UKGK show. What's happening is. A lot of people have contacted me about the show in September, and I just had a brain freeze. I thought, have I booked it? So basically, I had booked it, and then when I rung the convention just for my own peace of mind. Now this is weird. Now I got hold of the woman that organises it, and I said to her,
Middlewich?
Yeah, and I said to her, I assume everything's okay. We're all right for September, end of September. She said, I've got some really bad news, Dave. Oh, what's up? She said, the trust don't allow weekend conferences anymore, so it's cancelled.
What?
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be where they make most of their money?
They don't allow it, apparently. Saturday Tusk because it's used as a place of worship on a Sunday.
Okay.
I'm guessing that the pace tables caused an issue last time, on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So I'm currently in the process. Don't fail, guys. Don't worry. I'm
looking for an alternative venue.
Yes, I'm waiting on people getting back to us. A couple of places getting back to me. I am working hard. I haven't forgot. I do apologise for the late delay. As I said, it's unlike me, but I did book it. So
Which is a shame because we were going to use the poster that we didn't use last year with a new number on it.
We can still do it. We can still
do it. We can tape a piece of paper.
We can make
write it with a felt tip and tape it over with some gaffer tape.
We can put them all in a line from years gone by, can't we? And then we can really confuse people, can't we? You know what I mean? Really confuse people.
Oh, God,
thank you very much, guys, for the kind comments for the guys across the sea. It means so much to me and Bill. Kurt and Steve are on after us. Yeah, they're on after us.
Steve in Florida.
It looks like it. I mean, I'm digging the shirts. It's like Magnum PI up there now. Yeah. The guys are taking it a bit too seriously, though. Yeah. Wait, look at us! Look at us in this. And
but this is our warm spring wear, isn't it, Dave?
It is. This is
how it is here, isn't it?
Yeah, this is as good. This is as good as it gets. This is as good as it gets, guys. Please don't come to the UK in this time of year because you'll need a hat or something. Right. But anyway, thanks a lot, guys. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers, everyone. Bye bye. Hello, everybody. I'm Kirk Cullimore.
This is Steven.
And we're doing reviews from across the pond here. We've got another episode for you of a few more of Giovanni Zorloza's kits. A couple good ones I think you'll really like today. So we had a special request, too. About the shirts. Since we're going to be in a setting like this, we should look like we're
always stay
here. We are
over here.
Anyway, he knows who he is. He'll like it. Steve, show the first one here. What movie is this?
Jeepers Creepers. It's a really cool piece.
It's a wall hanger, life size, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you paint that up pretty cool with some murals on the.
Yeah, you could do like scenes from the movies. Try to fill that in. I'm thinking, and then even like the beginning scene with the road where they're being chased. That's the way I see it, anyways, with the backboard. Or you could do it as a general brown wood color.
Which one was your favorite?
Well, the first one, that's what resonated
Mine
with
too.
me. That number 2 was, I like number 2, but as I've gotten older, it's, it's drawn out, right? Just like a lot of horror series. The first one he was creepy when he had his original cataracts eyes. And then when he took Derry's eyes, which was how it was creepy in the movie when he did that, but once he had his eyes, it changed the creature. Yeah, I didn't think it was all that great.
One of my older sisters and brother-in-law that live in Ocala, Florida, were telling us when we visited with them that they were that church scene where they were driving down the road and they saw him throwing the body down the tunnel. That was done in Ocala. That was a real church. Obviously, it was abandoned. And not too long after, they told me after that movie was made that kids, they got burnt down. So. But that was a real church, not in the basement. That was obviously added on, but the church itself, what you saw when you were driving by, that did exist there in Ocala, Florida. So that was kind of neat. I enjoyed hearing that. A little bit of trivia there for you. But I love that piece. I've yet to paint that one. That's on my wall. I still
remember that was
display it proudly.
That was a big movie back in 2000 when you bought that on VHS. What was it? Marine City. Kmart, at the old Kmart. I remember you bought it on VHS and we watched it.
The old Kmart.
Yeah, you remember that?
I do.
I do. I remember the part that always creeped me out was when he got out of the car. It was just
the police car?
The police car, yeah. And he killed them 2 cops, but he took the cop's head.
Yeah,
and he sucked the tongue right out. That was just
a
really
little French kiss in there. It went a little over.
And the old woman that looked like an old rundown Cameron Diaz.
Yeah,
remember?
With the cats, with all the cats.
Yeah. people tell how many cats people can have. I'll have as many cats as I want to have. You could tell them that for me. That shit was
That's
funny.
what she thought they were there from.
Yeah, that was really funny. She was pissed, like getting all defensive. Get out of my house! She nudges Justin Long right in the dong and goes right in the house.
Justin Long and the dog. So, all right, let's move on to our next piece here.
This one is a personal
is,
favorite of mine.
yeah, mine too. I painted this one, and it probably is displayed across from my nun. I think I had stated in an episode before that when people walk through there, they don't see it until they look up. And this guy's heavy.
Big, massive piece.
He's probably, I got to set him on this. Keep that right there because I'm going to put that lower edge on there. Yeah, he's heavy because he's like 25 pounds. I can't sit. Look out.
Stan
I'll lose my
Winston's
load.
pumpkin head.
Yeah, that's a big piece.
This is my favorite piece that I have seen of Pumpkinhead. I mean, Giovanni really, really captured the likeness of the creature.
Try to turn a little bit for you. Yeah, he did. I mean, of all the pumpkin that's out there, this to me is by far not just because of his life size, but
It's just
is by far my
captured
favorite.
the likeness of it.
And this thing
amazing.
again is heavy.
Here's the back of it.
I'm straining.
2 people.
So yeah, that was it's always fun to paint. It's a big one, so I had to have I made a special stand for it, and you can see, like I say, she's a life size, so it's what you wanted, Ed Harley.
Oh, Henrietta. Yeah, this was 1988. It was Stan Winston's first directed film. I love it. I think that this movie is very underrated, and I think that it should be put out there more. I mean, to the horror industry, people that love horror movies, he's huge. He's massive. But to the media and what they know, Freddy Krueger and all them, I think Pumpkinhead is well deserving to be up at the top. I mean, he's a fantastic monster. In the movie, the story, everything about it is great. Very dark.
So there's a couple more cool pieces from Zorlozic Creations there that are dear to us, and hopefully you enjoyed them too. On our next episode, we're going to preview another one, American Werewolf in London piece. I know that's popular. It's popular all around, so we'll be displaying that one. And
Bram Stoker's Dracula on the front of the cover of the movie, The Gargoyle. Whatever that was called. It was the wall reeve.
Oh, the wall relief. Yes.
Wall relief.
Yes. Yep. So, anyways, I'm still wore off from picking that thing up. I think I did my exercise for today. So, I hope you enjoyed this little segment. And again, if you have any, you're interested in any of these pieces, or you don't, reach out to Zorloza Creations. In the meantime, you everybody take care, be safe, and we will talk next time on our next review.
See you guys.